Okay, so I've got 13.
All
Do I
right,
have
I'm
to
gonna
say
need,
how many before I'm going to use them?
No, you can use them one at a time.
I'm gonna
Currently,
need
they're
help
taking a
from
short
Chris.
rest.
How do I use these hit die? Because I'm used to Rook style of hit die.
You use a D8 and add your con mod.
Right. Okay.
It's the same as Rook, just different die.
Yeah,
you-
but I double Rooks, don't I, and stuff.
Oh yeah, so it's just the regular roll plus con mod.
Right,
6
okay.
plus my con, which is 8.
Nope.
If you want to use a bunch of them at once, I'll copy some extra ones across.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thanks. What's my?
That'd be 1 plus your con mod. If anybody wants to heal, go ahead and do so.
4.
So,
How to? I've never done this before. I've never done this before with hit die.
So you're a wizard, so your hit die is a D6. So you roll a D6 plus your con mod. That's how many hit points you get back, and you take 1 off of your hit count. You should have 13, because you're level 13. And you can use as many as you have for your hit count, and you just until you are at full health.
I use 6 die.
Just keep rolling until you're at full or until you're happy. Also, because of your arcane recovery, you regain up to 6 levels worth of spells. So that could be 2 third levels, 1 6th level, a 5th and a 1st, etc.
Oh god, I don't have a pen and paper.
Well, whatever. Well, it's just up to 6 levels, so it shouldn't be too.
No, I mean with the hit die.
Oh,
'Cause I want to heal.
just add them to your current hit points.
Get the. Oh god. Okay.
Okay, that takes me up to my 19. Nice, and I used 1, 2, 3.
Let's see.
It's
How
5
much
on my
did you
head.
get? You got 5.
There we go.
As I can.
I used 6.
Okay, so how much did you write in? How much you healed on that?
I wrote down how much I heal from that one die.
Okay, so that should be 7. So that takes you up to 40. If you want to just roll, I'll add them all up for you and then go from there.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm a wizard. I'm squishy.
That's fine.
Yeah, I forgot you got seriously fucked up.
16 plus 8, which is 24, putting you at 64. You are missing 14 hit points.
Let me just note down how many. 4, 8 left. Screw it.
Another 4. Yeah,
Oh.
you're fine. Okay,
Cool.
so you're back at full.
Excellent.
Okay. So, over the course of your short rest, let's see. Lila, you take your rest. You spend some time in the captain's quarters, and we'll go over that in a moment. Sim, you drink off the pain, and you wait for your gun to be repaired while Hume's doing that. Astra, you are tending to your own wounds as well as the wounds of the other men. And I will go through the bits and pieces as to what occurs this session. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Crabby D&D, the Soaring Leviathans. Hopefully the finale of all this now. We shall see. I am here with Infernal.
Hello.
Sam.
Hello.
Jamie.
Hello.
And Julie.
Greetings.
Oh. You're good.
Well, she went fancy on us.
Oh.
I'm in character, don't you know?
Oh, we're in character. Okay, I see. Yes.
Fuck the captain.
Astra does not talk like that.
Twiddle my moustache.
She's not been in the nobility for a while.
So, as you... let's just go through the basic stuff. So, thank you to Nosa for all the art. Thank you to Tabletop Audio for the free audio you provide. Any combat maps like this ship were made on Dungeon Player Studio, and I don't think I have any detailed maps, but they would be made on Incarnate. So, let's get into this, shall we? Last session, the Giff from the Armada, heading over from the Empire, called to war on their sky ships. The Stormthrush makes its way across oceans, through the archipelagos, and eventually reaching the Alliance. Mostly intact, suffering a few losses, some firing of shots, some extra work needing to be done, overcoming an elemental threat, followed by some interesting combat, including a dragon, some wyvern riders, and dragonborn. With the combat over, taking a dragonborn captive, the party is currently preparing for the fight ahead. With Hulem below decks, currently repairing the gun that Sim had given to him, Astra preparing and healing the people who are currently below decks in preparation for the battle, and Lila receiving a lecture from the Admiral. So, first off, we shall begin with Hulem. Hulem.
Jolly good.
Yes. As you are below decks, currently in your workshop, taking a few of the bits of metal, reapplying them, and hastily fixing Sim's gun. As complex as the design is, and as it's not your gun, it is difficult to work with, but the repairs you have made will suffice. As you're finishing up the last little bits, there is a knock on your door.
Yes, come in.
As the door is opened, you see the Admiral there as he walks in.
Oh shit.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I just
Sir?
wanted to confirm one thing. In the last
Yes.
fight, the cannons were fired in to give aid to the other ships.
Yes.
Where some of the shots went amiss, there are issues with that, and I have caught wind of a potential disliking to the captain.
Okay. Incompetent members of crew. Okay. Can I address the crew up on deck in 5 minutes about this?
You may.
I'm assuming it's to do with mine and the captain's colourful conflict, so to say.
Yes. So long
Fair
as you
do.
aren't going to attempt to stage a mutiny during the middle of the war, this would not be the place for it.
I have genuinely got no intention of staging a mutiny. I just enjoy winding the captain up. 'Tis all. I like to watch him suffer.
I will be speaking to the captain shortly. I have some information that I wish to pass on to him.
Oh no.
If you and the boatswain go above deck and speak to the remainder of the crew, I will
Brilliant.
leave that in your hands.
Before you go, I need to clear something up. The crew aren't very clear of what the plan is here. I have a rough understanding that it's going to be we're looking for flares and we're going to be targeted said flares with cannon fire. Is that correct?
The flares will indicate the direction of our shot, and the shots will be given the order by the captain and yourself, using a bombardment from on high to clear the landing zones.
Brilliant. Okay. Just wanted to clear that up, because it wasn't clearly stipulated before, and if I'm going to relay this information to the crew, I want to make sure it's correct, and I don't blow other ships up.
That is understandable.
Good.
Prepare for the fight ahead. We don't know what we're getting into. If the captain, for whatever reason, is knocked out of combat or otherwise engaged, I will take charge of the orders.
Okay.
As you were.
Thank you. Back to this damn gun. How did he make this so damn complicated? There must be that special tea he drinks.
I have a feeling someone's getting demoted too.
No one's getting demoted, don't worry.
As,
I might.
Oh,
Please demote me.
oh, can the captain be my lackey? Errand boy.
No.
as
Oh.
you
Playing a Mass Effect game.
as you are left to attend to what this is, the Admiral walking above deck and heading into the captain's quarters, closing the door behind him. He stands there across from the map from you, Captain, where you are currently tending to your wounds, making sure that you are okay and sipping some tea as you have suffered some heavy damage in that previous fight. Captain.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to clear something up. With the fights being ahead of us and approaching soon, I have addressed the Master Gunner, and I have informed him that he is to prepare for the oncoming fight. To encourage the men, he will be speaking to them on your behalf. The bosun too.
Well, hopefully he does a better job than I did.
Which is what I am coming to this. I am trusting your judgment, despite everything that has occurred. This ship is still yours, and you did earn this rank, through whatever means you earned it. I am therefore going to expect that you give orders to your men rather than try and engage in combat yourself. As alluring as the front line may be, I do not want you dying. The crew may die aimlessly. Are we understood?
Yes, sir.
Good. You have control over everyone, and they will listen to you. Make sure that you use that power. Aid those who need it, but otherwise don't do anything rash.
Me do anything rash? When would I do that?
Precisely. This is, however, I am going to say, your last chance. With the war as it is, I do not want to have to send my men home, especially with such a large vessel in hand. Do not disappoint me.
I won't. The job will get done, and that's what really matters.
Okay. From above deck and from outside the door, you can hear the sound of a whistle being sounded. The men assemble on deck as you stand next to the helmsman. The men assembling before you as the sound of the sails flutter. You can see out into the endless blue around you, the sky and the clouds overhead. The clouds being a pristine white with bounce and fluff to them as they move through the air. You prepare, and each of the men kind of call themselves to as they all stand in the situation. They begin to mutter to one another as the bosun slams his fist onto the edge of the balcony there and goes, "Listen up! Master Gunner has something he wishes to speak to you all about."
Thank you, bosun. So, I'm not typically one to stand in front of all of you, give riveting speeches and give information. It's not my style. I'm not a paper pusher. But the captain is otherwise engaged, so I have got to do this. So to start with, we need to address several matters. First, we'll go over the plan. So the plan is, within the next 10 minutes, we'll be arriving at the primary of the warfront. Primarily, our role is act as support and cover. We are to clear the landing sites with cannon fire designated by markers or flares. Okay? So that will be covered with bombardment. The orders will be given either by myself, the admiral, or the captain. Make sure you react as accordingly. Secondly, it's come to my attention that people are expecting or thinking of some kind of mutiny. I just want to say it's been brought to my attention that some of the my God, hang on one sec. Hang on. Give me a minute. Hang on.
I believe in you, Jamie. You're doing better than me already. Not hard.
Sorry, my dog had opened the door and she was ransacking the kitchen. sake. So, it's been brought to my attention that some of the crew are questioning the chain of command. Let me make this clear right now. I take the mick out of the captain, but it's just because I've known the captain for a very long time. There is a reason why he is in the position of captain. His skills exceed mine by far when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. His decision-making skills, most of the time, are actually really good. They just
This is the captain. He's.
captain's exploded in the cabin.
The captain's just listening in by the door, just listening. It's like, he said nice things about me.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
a This isn't the Master Gunner at all. Someone's infiltrated us. No.
Fear not. So let me just make this clear now. Should anyone act up against the chain of command, I personally will load you into the dragon cannon and fire you from the ship myself. Is that clear?
The men look among each other, kind of slowly whispering to one another. As
I said, is that clear?
they all give out a shout of approval and all kind of nod, most of them saluting, kind of realizing, like, oh man.
Good. Jesus Christ. Right.
I'm back.
So-
What happened?
Oh, good. Well, welcome
Such a
back.
disappointment as the captain.
It's
So-
fine.
The speech?
It's fine. Sim isn't listening to it anyway. He's below decks.
Did I miss the speech?
You missed
So-
it.
Do I hear everyone cheering?
No, I'm still
Just-
going.
Oh,
So, after all this fighting is done and said, I have got to say, there will be a pot of tea to remember everyone that has fallen. All the people that have fallen from the other vessels, all the people that have fallen from this vessels. Their deaths will not go in vain, and I expect you to do exactly the same. I turn round to the bosun and say, oh, flipping heck. They all look so disheartened and so defeated. What do I say here?
The bosun steps up and turns to the men and goes, I expect you all to run a good fight here.
Cool.
We are in this war for a reason. We have chosen to take our side, and we will now act upon it. We are one of the strongest forces within the Empire, and we will show them that from this day. Let our bombardment fill the air, and take out whatever defenses they have on the land. Gather your guns, prepare for the battle ahead. Go. At which point he gestures out to the rest of them to go ahead and prepare what they do as they proceed to move around the deck, heading out to the lower portions of the deck, preparing. You can see the various individuals preparing for the fight that is on the wind.
Perfect.
Dimitri.
Currently,
I'm so
not
glad to be
Dimitri, because you are not in the crow's nest at this time.
Oh, I'm not?
No, the two of you are below deck, as before you is an unconscious Dragonborn.
Oh.
One of the nurses is with you as Astra walks into the room, hands behind her back as the Dragonborn is still unconscious. A pack of smelling salts in her hand and a medical kit to the side, as this is an interrogation.
Oh, we captured one of them. Okay.
Yeah. So, he is currently unconscious. What would you like to do?
Oh, I look at them. Well, gentlemen, what's the plan?
You're the expert.
I frown at him. I'm a doctor. Look, my job is the opposite of this. Morning.
Well, we need him to wake up if we want to interrogate.
Surely we need to think of a plan before we wake.
Dimitri looks over, takes the bottle of vodka, swirls it around. We know what we're doing, don't worry. He takes a swig, passes it back to you.
Take a swig.
Go ahead and wake up.
Is my gun down by this time?
Hmm?
Is my gun down at this point?
Your gun will be being brought to you at this moment, yeah.
Very well, if everyone's prepared.
Yep.
Can I make sure that this guy is very secure?
Very what, sorry?
Secure.
Secure. Go ahead and make me either an investigation check or a perception check.
Well, like, is he lying down? Is he tied to a chair?
He's currently tied to a chair.
Okay, I'll make a perception.
Okay, go ahead.
Whoops. Nope. Wrong.
Don't want to be rolling a d6. You're very low score.
No!
6.
Oh, no. 6 plus 2 plus 3, so 9.
9. Looking over his restraints, they look okay. There doesn't seem to be any weakness in them. They're tied around him. He's suffered some bad injuries, so if he did attempt to try and escape, it might hurt him more. You aren't sure. All you know is that he was dragged down here once the combat had finished.
What colour Dragonborn is he?
White.
White. I look at the others, and I nod, and I hold the smelling salts under his face.
Okay.
Just checking who's here, by the way.
Huh?
Me, Dimitri, who else is here?
You, Dimitri, Astra, and one of the nurses. So, as you hold the smelling salts under his nose, he immediately, begins to blink awake as he pulls his face back, as he now wakes to consciousness. His wound's still pretty bad, as he looks up and sees, as Astra takes a step away, sees Sim and Dimitri straight ahead of him.
Ah. You have woken up. Welcome. Are you doing okay?
He immediately attempts to struggle, failing to do so as he just shakes at the restraints of his, on him and just kind of...
Oh, no, don't struggle. It'll hurt more. Are you okay?
What do you care?
Oh, of course I care. You are our precious friend.
Don't believe that for a second. Why haven't you killed me yet?
Why would we kill you? You're our friend. Friend that's about to enlighten us.
Why should I tell you anything?
Oh, you don't remember? We spoke earlier, but you blacked out. You were about to tell us everything.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
As I pull out the vodka.
Okay.
Fuck! Lucky? No, wait, do I have...
Oh, wow.
I don't think you have any more lucky left.
Okay, are you trying to play good cop?
Wait. I don't think I have lucky on this.
You do.
Yeah, I don't have lucky on this.
Oh,
Wait.
Oh, wait, no, it's Jamie who has lucky, but he's used all of his.
Yeah.
So, he immediately, he sees the bottle of drink, he sees you, and he kind of just, spits a thick glob of blood and saliva to one side. Do your worst. I won't tell you anything.
Worth a try. Alright, Dimitri.
Dimitri at this point reaches into his side bag, pulls out what looks to be a very thin shard of glass. At this point, he goes up to the edge of the neck of the Dragonborn. Hold him still. Still hurt.
Dimitri's bad cop, I see.
Alright. I would like a strength check from Astra and Sim here, please. To hold him down. And a
Can I-
strength check from the nurse as well.
Can I just out of character remind everyone that I have a suggestion? Saying, she's not going to say that though.
Okay.
That is
11 on me.
that's 2.
Wait,
Okay.
oh, is this counting like pushing or holding?
This is a grapple, so it would be with +2 for you.
No, it'd be class is
Fail.
15. Yeah,
Your class is strength 15, so it would be a
Yeah.
+2. Yeah,
plus
13.
yeah, so it's 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the nurse got a 19, so As you all hold him down, Dimitri takes the thin shard of glass and slides it in between two scales on the neck, kind of slowly trepanning in through his neck before he pulls the shard of glass out, covered in a very thin amount of blood as it begins to bleed down the side of his neck. Now then, what's going to happen is you either tell us, or you're going to feel like you're suffocating for the next couple of minutes until we decide to either leave you, you will die, or you can remain here in a suffocated state for the next couple of hours, or until the ship ends up blowing up. Who knows? She's going to roll an intimidation check. Oh, bad cop didn't do so well. He looks over the Dragonborn, who makes a wisdom save, and rolled better, as the Dragonborn sputters slightly. I won't tell you anything. He inhales sharply as the blood continues to trickle down his neck. Make it sting. Looking at you, Sim.
Right. Let's see. Is there... Wait. Is he telling me to make the wound sting?
Telling you to make the
something else?
wound sting, yes.
Okay. Is there another piece of glass in it?
No, but you do have a bottle of alcohol.
Oh yeah, that's...
Oh.
Also helping.
I push his... is it... Where do you do it? On his neck? Yeah.
On his neck, yeah.
I push it over to the side and just start pouring.
There's an immediate wince of pain as he shudders with it, but remains stalwart as it does continue to sting. He kind of tries to pull himself back, trying to contest the strength of the rest of you, failing to do so as he tries to break free of the grapple and shift and move.
When he does that, I pour some into his mouth as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check.
Are we sure we're the
Yes!
Okay. As you
Needs
pull
to be
open,
good, guys.
as you pull open his mouth and you pour in the alcohol, he goes to inhale, but due to the constant stream of alcohol, he can't as he sputters and begins choking. At one point, his hand reaches out and starts tapping the side of the chair. You stop pouring. His head sputters forward as he coughs up blood, alcohol, and whatever may have been trapped inside of his lungs. What do you want to know?
This is where you come in, Dimitri.
Dimitri looks him up and down. We want to know what kind of defenses they have there on the beach. They have a forest. Don't know exactly what's there, but Hyimer said that we were to attack the ships, try and take as many of them down as we could. Beachhead is defended by trees. I don't understand. That's what we were told.
Inside.
Go ahead.
I also...
Yeah, go for it. Okay.
It's a 70.
Plus 8? Really?
Okay.
19.
The two of you can tell that he seems to be telling the truth. Doesn't seem to be leaving out any details. All he knows is something that the trees are supposed to defend the beach somehow. Dimitri
What are they
looks-
defending on the beach?
Hmm?
What are they defending on the beach?
The landing point.
Ah.
At this point, Dimitri looks over at you. I don't think we have too much time to interrogate the rest of this.
Doesn't seem you know much either.
We're going to make landfall in about 5 minutes. We need to get to the crow's nest.
Yes.
Astra will leave this one to you. See if there's anything if you want to save him. If not, then well, just leave him. He'll bleed.
Understood.
He gives you a nod. Come on, let's get you a gun and let's head to the crow's nest.
Alright.
He gathers his things, heading back up the stairs as your footfalls go across the creaking wood. You grab your things and you head to the crow's nest. Astra, what would you like to do?
Can I inspect him? Actually? Just stand there, look him up and down.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a medicine or perception check.
Oh, medicine. So I'm particularly worried about the alcohol that was just poured into the open wound on his neck. 13 plus...
That would help sterilize it.
True. Does do a lot of damage for.
13 plus 8.
Okay. Looking over the wound is thin enough that you could apply a little bit of pressure and a small bandage to it, and it shouldn't bleed anymore. The alcohol that's in his system will probably knock him out fairly easily. Just a little bit of sedative will take him unconscious. He's also in no shape to fight. Even if he does break his restraints, he's got maybe 1 hit point to work with. He's bruised enough that you could slap him around the face and he'll fall unconscious. So. But otherwise, he will remain stable unless you otherwise wish to just let him bleed out.
Okay. I want to keep standing there for a moment, surveying him. And then I'm going to nod to the nurse and start tending to his injuries.
Okay. You begin tending to his injuries. Do you knock him out first or let him remain conscious?
I think I'll let him remain conscious.
Okay. He grimaces with some of the tending to the wounds, applying salves, various other medical applications of ointments to treat any of his burns or injuries from the various gunfire that he had pelleted into him, as well as applying a bandage to the neck to prevent any further bleeding out. Okay. As you're tending to his wounds, and as the rest of you, are preparing for the oncoming fight, Captain, you leave your quarters. You look out onto the rest of your crew as they're all preparing for the fight ahead. The hum of the other ships around you as they all proceed to make their way through the sky. Looking down, you can see what looks to be the looking over the edge of the ship and looking down, you can see the ships ready to land and hit the beaches as you are only moments away from the beginning of this siege. Are there any orders you wish to give? You see as Sim and Dimitri are beginning to head up to the top deck before heading up to the crow's nest. You would have been aware that they were with the prisoner.
Yeah. Right. Everyone, battle stations! Organize yourselves! So if you stand around like a bunch of rabble, sort it out.
You give out
Be
your
organized.
You give out your orders to the crew. Dimitri and Sim head over to you as Dimitri goes, Captain,
Yes.
we have acquired a small amount of information from the prisoner. Apparently the forests just beyond the beaches are the main form of defense. We're not sure why or how, but we just know.
When we don't have any targets, we'll be pointing out them as well then. Give them something to think about.
Alright. We'll spot. He gives a quick
I'm sure
salute
you will.
and then proceeds to head over to the rigging to begin climbing up to the crow's nest.
I salute him back and whatever.
Okay.
And you, Sim? Anything from you? No?
Sim?
Okay then.
Sorry, well, just go back, sorry.
Oh, I see.
Don't worry about it.
I got called.
Just
Cool.
get to your
Oh,
post.
what did you
Keep
say,
an eye
Captain?
out. Don't worry about it. Just get to your post, keep an eye out, and stop. And just refrain from drinking. I need you sharp.
I'm as sharp as ever.
I'm sure you are.
Yes.
Okay. So,
I'll start walking up the crow's nest.
Making your way. Oh right, yeah, because you can just walk up the mast.
Yeah, just walk up the crosses.
That's a little creepy how he does that.
Yeah, he just
We
takes
had
a
to just
step,
say-
asks an immediate right angle, just walks up the mast.
So
I've always
keep
thought-
doing this.
I've always thought spider climb was a little creepier. Like you actually, I know they're boots for spider climb, but still, just I like they're actually like climbing up like they're a spider. But this works as well.
So, as the men go around grabbing rope and preparing for the fight ahead, remember the actions you can take, and the actions that you can order, Captain.
Okay, I've got them up, and one sec. Sorry, I just had to cough out my spleen. I'm good now.
You need that, sir.
Don't need a spleen. What does that do?
It helps you lean. Alright.
What does a spleen do? You know, actually, it's quite needed. It's a big part of the immune system,
Oh, nobody needs that.
and recycles old blood cells into platelets.
Yay!
And it's also where white blood cells are stored. Interesting.
Ah.
Didn't know you were learning biology today. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Can we move on now?
Yes. So, as the ship begins to move forward, Hulem, you are currently below deck. The men begin to prepare the cannons, grabbing the cannonballs and loading them in. What shot type are you going to order? You have 3 different shot types you can use. You there, Jamie?
Jamie.
And,
Yeah, I am. Sorry,
Okay.
my mute would. Fucking hell.
Your
Your
nuke.
mic was muted.
Don't have
My-
any
my
of those.
Nuke.
My nuke was moot. That's what I'm loading into the cannons. Nukes, just tactical nukes.
I wish we had nukes.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Right.
It's more a lot easier.
What are the 3 shots I have? I think 'cause I have
You
no idea
have
where I'd even
regular
find
shot, grape shot, and what's
Chain
the-
shot?
Chain shot, yeah. So
Um,
your
I would
regular
not
shot
suggest
will help.
chain shot.
Yeah. So chain shot will be useful for restraining targets and destroying masts. Grape shot will be good at hitting large areas and doing decent damage. Whereas regular shot will be good for single target damage, but does also minorly explode.
Best way
Well-
to think about it is regular shot as your standard cannibal. Grape shot's
Yeah.
best for people, effectively.
that. Yeah, part of me thinks that it should be grape shot because we're essentially carpet bombing an area.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's not like I have the captain around to ask him. So I'm just gonna go with grape shot because that's what I would do.
Okay.
The captain trusts your decision.
Good.
You
The
should-
range is the same, guys.
Hmm?
The range is the same.
Is
Oh,
it
no.
the same range, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, they're all the same range.
Interesting.
So, with the with all that being said and done, the grape shot is all loaded into the cannons. The crew are preparing for the fight ahead. As you see below you, and particularly from the crow's nest, you see as red lights begin to float across the lower ground, across the beaches, as the sky begins to mildly darken, as not dusk is setting in, but it's just getting darker from the east. You see the flares below glowing and pulsing, revealing small areas where you can see what look to be defensive platforms have been created. Wooden palisades have been set up on the beach. There are other defenses and presumably traps, but you can see quite a few individuals are currently there as your ships are currently flying about maybe 1,000 feet up.
Okay.
So you need to drop down for further cannon fire.
Yeah. We're supposed to be shooting at the flares, right? Or
Yeah, we're
Yes.
aiming for the flares.
Yes.
Because if there's something that's going to be, a bigger threat to us than what's on the floor, we're going to look after the ship first.
yeah. I'll yell out to the captain. We're too high. We need to do 200 feet.
Noted. Who's at the helm? Helmsman, I presume.
Helmsman.
Yeah.
Helmsman, bring us lower.
Aye, Captain. He performs the maneuver. The admiral at this point, standing on the upper decks, points to one of the other Giff, who begin to signal to the other ships as they all begin to follow suit, dipping below the clouds, each of the masts breaking through the clouds above. You travel down and a little bit more into line of sight, the large ships and the now almost like its own swarm or cloud of ships dip below and within range to unleash cannon fire.
We're not directly under each other, right?
No, you're all beside one another, but currently because your cannons shoot outwards from you, you'd need to perform another maneuver to prepare for it.
Are we directly above the flares?
Not directly above. You're just off a little bit, just so you are pointing straight down.
Yeah. How, what's the distance?
About 800.
No, wait, from the ground or from the flares?
From the ground.
I meant, are we directly above them, or are we, how far are we away?
So, the ground... Imagine the ground... I'm going to draw it over here. Imagine the ground is like this.
Okay.
Where you've got the landing fleet coming in over here. Amazing little drawing of a ship.
I love it.
Yep, they're coming in over here. The defenses are set up here, and you've got people behind the defenses.
Oh,
over
we're
here.
fighting giants, are we?
Yeah, yeah. The flares have been fired to above these, and you are up here by about 800.
Okay, so we're
So
getting
here,
into it
so
now.
here to here is 800 feet.
Okay.
With this map, where's the forest sort of situated? I'm guessing about here.
The forest is back quite a way.
Oh, it's quite a way back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms
This
of
is
walking,
first defense, then.
it's about 500 feet away from the primary defenses.
Right, well, we'll have to deal with that first defense line first, and then push on ahead of the land forces in order to...
Where would we
Clear
need
out
to
some
be
force.
situated for the shots to land here?
You can be situated where you are. The thing is, your shots are coming. So your ship, like that. The shots come out directly parallel.
We'll
No,
have
I
to-
know. I mean, do we need to be directly above, or can we shoot them like this?
You can shoot them like that.
Yeah, we could shoot like that, but we need to rotate a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
need to maneuver
So-
the ship this way.
We'll need to maneuver the ship, and we can get 2 shots off with the maneuvering of the ship. So we can get different angles as well. So
If you
anyone
look at
taking
the
cover.
Master Gunner's ability, Rain Hell, you can get the captain or the helmsman can give an order for a broadside tilt. This means that you
can't
turn.
actually
This means you turn 45 degrees, and your cannons can then fire downwards.
Okay.
Yeah, but then we need to be directly under.
No,
Or
because
above.
45.
No, because we
degrees
can point
Oh.
it. We
That's
can
what
use the
I
ship.
do.
To
Okay.
Yeah. The
we
broadside
don't have to
tilt.
be perfect.
Yeah. So where you're currently, if you've got the beachhead like this and you're coming in that way, you'd need to make a turn around this way and perform a broadside tilt so you can fire onto the
Yeah,
beachhead.
okay. Yeah, I see.
Because trying to bombard them from directly above would be a bad idea, because that means we're tilting the ship 90 degrees.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
will fall off.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
everybody can tie ropes to them there are points all over the ship because this is a regular maneuver, so they can tie themselves down. You've just got to
Yeah, I kind of forgot the 90 degrees was that one. I thought 45 degrees was the one where you tilt directly down.
No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
So
90 degrees. Things will roll about the place. People, even if they're on rope, will still fall over. And someone could get a splinter, and no one would want that.
Reloading the
A
cannon.
nasty way to start a war.
Alright, I'll yell out to Captain. We're within range.
Excellent.
We can fire. We can set to command anytime.
Bring starboard side to face and tilt the ship, helmsman.
Okay. All right. So
I am standing next to him, yelling this in his ear. Quite obnoxious.
no, that's fine. So I'm just noting which way starboard side is.
Starboard is right side.
So you're
glad
bringing
someone knows.
and you're bringing the starboard side to face.
To
so
face.
you are turning
Yes.
this way. Okay.
Well, I could almost use this as a little system to.
Yeah.
Well.
If you want to use the system to coordinate attacks, you're welcome to. So, you give out the order for a starboard side to face. The ship turns as the helmsman moves the wheel. The men instinctively hearing this go over to the
Make
various
ready.
pegs, tie themselves down. The bosun orders the 2 people under him to go around checking the ropes as they pull them tight, going round and
Oh. He's got
they-
people under him, does he?
making
Okay.
sure everything's in check. As the bosun shouts out to you, Hulem, give the order to your men, as he shouts over to the other side of the ship. All men from port side to starboard cannons.
Perfect. Is that what I need to say, or did you just do that for
No,
me?
he's giving the order for them to move over. Once the tilt begins, you need to give the order for the firing.
Fire. Right.
Head for
Okay.
So,
head for head.
so the
Men.
ships turn, moving into positions. The flares slowly growing a little bit darker as they are floating through the sky above the defences.
Cool. Excellent. Are we tilting yet?
Not currently. Are you giving the order?
Yes. Okay. Am I ordering the tilt then?
No.
Okay.
I ordered. I told
I'm
him.
very confused.
But I told him bring the starboard side round and tilt the ship. I told him. Oh great, this is a mutiny. Gonna have to shoot this guy. No. No, I'm not
Okay,
doing
he brings it. I thought you only said bring the starboard side to face. I didn't
that.
realize
I
you said tilt.
starboard round his
Okay.
tilt.
So at this moment, he begins to spin the wheel as the ship begins to tilt. As the ship tilts, the cargo, there's a creak from the hull as the entire ship shifts. All of the cannons falling into position, each of them going through each of the portholes as now the main flagship and a bunch of the other ships as well begin to line themselves up in preparation for this.
Excellent. Right. Now it's my turn to give the order.
Just for
Men.
the right moment.
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? Men, as you get a clear shot, take your... No. Yeah, well, just take the damn shot. Fuck me.
Okay.
Just whatever.
We're
Do
a
it.
professional crew. We're well disciplined, well trained.
Fucking-
Tricks. I don't know how to work a
As the
cannon.
master gunner, instead of shouting fire, goes, take the shot, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
Fucking
confused.
fire!
Okay.
What's happening down there?
Alright, each of the cannons shoot in turn as they hit the beachhead, the grape shot landing in the various areas, decimating the defences as the various troops on the ground level begin to be scattered as the cannon fire rains down onto them. The smoke begins to clear. You can see most of the defences have been destroyed as you watch as the boats hit the landfall and they begin to move up and out. A volley of arrows is fired from one of the surviving troops from behind. What is your next order? As you can currently see it, most of the defences have been taken care of. There are still survivors down there, and the forces have made the landing and they are currently moving up the beach.
Has it just been our ship that fired, or did other ships fire as well?
All of your first company fires. The remaining second, third, and fourth company are all coming in behind.
Then they'll take care of it. We'll push on forwards.
Okay.
I look at Dimitri. I say, let's get him. Start firing at the survivors.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Actually, no, that's my next order. All men with a rifle, get to the starboard side and get shooting.
Okay.
18.
The men on the top move over to the various edges. They aren't within range, but they keep their guns
I'm
trained for
gonna
those on the top.
Just
Then I'm gonna
have
take a
them
shot.
Yeah, in a high distance, it's fine.
It's an 18 to hit.
Yep.
Looking through your scope, you take a shot. You watch as two individuals who are currently fleeing back with the rest of them. Two of them get scattered by a single shot as they're blown to small pieces. You can see the majority of the people down there. Only a few of them are actually human, but a lot of them seem to be orc or elf, in some manner or another. There's also quite a lot of beasts and animals with them, as they are some form of defense.
Murder the dog.
This is normal, right? For the Alliance?
In the Alliance, yes, this is normal. As they begin to retreat, you land the shot. Dimitri takes his shot and goes, "Well, that one's not got any legs anymore." As he reloads his gun, and getting prepared for another shot. Go ahead and roll your next attack, you two.
17.
As he takes the shot, you watch as his shot sink bounces off the edge of his gun. He goes, "Oh shit!" As he pulls out his tinkerer's tools and is going to repair his gun, but jammed the natural one.
Oh no.
Okay, he repairs his gun and goes, "That was close." Ugh.
Watch out there.
Nearly simmed it.
Very much.
Don't follow my example.
I'll try not
It's
to.
really not my day.
Alright, so, Captain, what's your next orders? Moving forward?
Yes, moving forward. Gonna have the ship sort of kind of face forwards. It's going to be slightly awkward with this starboard side gun. Obviously, that's not to just where we're pushing on as much as we can until we get to the next line of obvious defences.
Okay.
Or the next target's been fled.
Okay.
Whatever.
As the ship is righted and it proceeds to move on, following more, the rest of the first company follow. The second and third company fan out a bit, travelling around the beachhead. The fourth company dropping in lower than you, as a chorus of gunfire proceeds to follow, as the riflemen from the fourth company are now within range, shooting off some of the stragglers, taking some of your kills, Sim and Dimitri. As they are shooting some of them, but the two of you still manage to keep count and get some good kills.
Not cutting you up. Can anyone above board hear me?
Yes, if you want to go above deck just temporarily to give an order, you can.
Okay, because I need to know sort of like if you could keep me informed as to what ammo would be best recommended or what we're going to be shooting at. Because like we had small targets to start with, but is it a dense forest? I can't see. I'm under deck, so I need to know what ammo to use.
So is it a dense forest? So
I threw my spyglass.
Yes, spyglass. Go
Sorry, I
ahead and
didn't
make your
cut you up.
perception check. No, that's fine. These are important bits of information.
Oh, come on. That is a 17.
17. Rolls a 5. 17.
how you've got a 12 in perception?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I know a 13th level, but bloody hell!
Plus 13 stealth at 11.
That's true. So, as you pull out your spyglass, you get a better look. The forest looks pretty dense. With that, you can see that you can see on the way, at the edge of the forest, there do seem to be, what look to be these large stones with various glyphs and writing across it, and people standing behind them, performing some basic chant.
Humans or?
Varying. So elves, humans,
yeah,
orcs, dragonborn.
What kind of trees are these? Are these like thick?
They aren't quite thick pines, but they're more of a spruce and that kind of nature. Fir trees, that kind of. And they seem to be quite large and quite thick.
How many C's in that thick?
Probably 5.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're gonna need big
That's
shot.
a thick
Big
boy.
shot. Big. No, wait. Chain shot. Chain shot. We can bring the trees down on top of them.
Okay.
Is that what you've shouted down?
Chain shot. Bring the trees down on top of them.
Okay.
If you can make them on fire, that would be preferable.
Can I do that? Can I do that?
What, chain shot?
No,
Make
make
them
the
on
chain
fire?
Flaming chain shot.
Probably not right
Probably
now.
not,
No,
no.
probably not. No.
Although, don't I dare for the future?
Yeah.
I can try and snipe your cannonball mid-air and make it explode.
I have
I
chromatic.
don't know if that's gonna work.
What about? Well, okay. The enchantment that's going on. Have we got any magic users that might be able to understand what it is? Just in case it deflects cannonballs.
Ahem.
I mean,
Magic user, go.
Astra, if you want to helm that, you can.
I'm assuming that I've finished with the dragon deck.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, can I roll an Arcana check to have a look at these things?
Go ahead.
Whew, 16 plus 2 thing plus 9.
Okay, 25.
Wow.
Looking out across the deck and down onto these, you can see these stones have druidic symbols on them, and the nature of what is being chanted here seems to be more of an abjuration or evocation mix, as they proceed to chant whatever it is. You can see also, this would be what you'd also see, Sim. You can see a horde of what looks to be more enemies running out from the forest now, past the stones, to reinforce the front line as the ship's landing is getting up to the first barricade, which was mostly decimated. At this point, more flares are fired. Do you want to leave it to companies 2 and 3 to take care of them, or do you want to do that yourself? Because you have ordered the loading of chain shot, and unloading cannons is a lot harder than loading them.
Yeah. Well, there's a good way to unload them, and that's to fire them. So
I was
that's
going
what
to
we're
say,
to do.
we've still got one round of grape shot on the
Yeah.
other side.
On the other side.
True, that means turning the ship around, though.
Question, DM.
What would be quicker, turning the
These-
ship or...
The stones, are they around the border of the forest, or are
They're
they within?
around the border of the forest, yes.
I'd like to hold my hand up and say, Captain, I believe the conjuring shield's around the border.
Ah! That's a problem!
I'm sensing abjuration and evocation, perhaps. Shielding and some sort of energy.
Noted, we'll have to work with what we've got.
Let's test
What?
it out, shall we? I'll fire a shot at it.
You're gonna fire a shot at the stone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I shoot the prisoner
Go
out
ahead
the
and
dragon?
make me an attack roll.
Shoot
Well,
this, no.
As always, I'm aiming for the head of one of the fucking guys that I can't.
Oh no, we some.
Damn it!
You take the shot. That is a misfire.
Oh shit.
As
There
the shot occurs, it doesn't go off as you
Mother.
as you look at your gun. Go ahead and roll me a repair.
Day really is not my day.
Okay, that should be fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
As you quickly go, whoops! As you quickly bend a bit of the metal back into shape, you pull the shot out and you re-put it back into the gun, recycling the shot as you prepare to fire again.
I just watched
the
it.
second shot.
There we go. That's what I wanted to see.
As you fire the shot, the shot soars through the sky, and as you're watching this, Astra, as you look out across the edge, you watch as one of the individuals collapses backwards onto the ground. You watch their head, behind their head, there's a small spray of blood as they fall back. The explosion mildly obscuring them and charring their front. As you do so, you watch as the stone in front of them dissipates and the magic disappears.
Captain, may I suggest that we kill these mages?
Very well. Got to...
So,
Yes.
with
I've got my death.
with your current thing, you have starboard side currently has chain shot equipped, port side currently has grape equipped.
What we're going to do is we're going to... The chain shot will be less effective on the... What's left?
The mages and stuff.
It will be less effective on the mages, and quite frankly, that shield needs clearing if it's going to hinder the rest of the army, and we can then fire the chain shot to the other side, although we do risk hitting our own men, so we won't do that. Well, besides that's multiple pivots, that gets a bit tricky. So what we'll do is we'll bring port side to face the trees.
Okay.
And such, and use the grape shot to decimate the druids.
Okay. Given
Fucking
the
yell out
hippies.
just in case.
Port
Are we
side.
shooting at their reinforcements or no?
How many druids are there?
Okay, right. How many reinforcements?
the reinforcements, you're looking at probably a couple thousand.
How many of the land forces are down there?
From the landing. From the landing.
Yeah, on our side.
Currently landed and currently in position to move up the front, probably about 5,000 or more. The rest of them are currently landing and taking position while the boats are being moved out of the way.
With the other ship companies coming in, they'll be fine. We focus on clearing the path behind this wave.
You sure? I can split shots. I can.
Yeah, the thing is we have to pivot the ship multiple times, so we've got to figure out which one we're going to do first. In fact, deal with the reinforcements first. They're the first threat, then we can deal with the shield. So we're going to let the reinforcements sort of pass underneath us, and then pivot and blam. Or maybe I'm thinking we're further up than we actually are.
You are further up than you actually are. You're currently where the old defences were on the beach, so you're currently there,
cool.
and they're
So-
currently running about here.
There. So we're okay. Cool. So fire the grape shot into those reinforcements. Fuck it.
Okay. Giving the
All
order,
of
the
the
ship
grape shot?
turns.
Make it half the grape shot. The other companies will be able to help.
Makes
There's
sense.
other ships as well.
Excellent.
Performing a portside tilt.
Hey. Yes.
The order is given, the shots are taken, more of the reinforcements are decimated by the various grape shot as quite a few individuals are torn and destroyed, the reinforcements taking some heavy damage. As this happens, Sim, I'd like you to go ahead and roll me a perception check as you're in the crow's nest. Go ahead and roll with advantage because of your spyglass. Okay.
Oh, that's like a fucking
With the
37?
That's a 37.
Oh my god!
As you're there in the crow's nest, kind of getting a better eye of this, looking at the reinforcements currently spotting for stragglers, you divert your attention over to the druids as you watch as the druids head into the forest, abandoning the stones, and you watch as some of the trees begin to move.
Okay.
Oh.
I immediately yell that out.
Okay. You shout that out, the rest of you hear as you watch as rather large, not treants, but for those of you who remember what arboreans are, as these large fir trees begin to lumber forward. Where a treant would be huge, arboreans are, think of them as much stronger treants.
Oh god, they're titan trees.
Yeah, as they begin to
Bad
run,
idea.
as they begin to run forward and move along with the rest, a group of druids following on. As
Fire the rest of the grape shot into them. Fire the rest of the grape shot in. Panic stations.
Don't panic. Panic causes problems.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Any man that panics gets shot, including myself.
firing the rest of the grape shot into them, performing a slight tilt before firing the grape shot into them. It hits across their form, but they mostly shrug it off as they continue to run
Yeah, I
forward with
thought
the
that
rest
would
of the
happen.
reinforcements.
We get. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the ship to face the starboard side, trying to pull the sharpest turn possible, which in a ship this big isn't easy, I know.
Yeah.
But chain shot is gonna have to be probably the most effective for this, because trees are effectively just masts without
Yeah.
being cut.
Yep.
Okay, so performing
So-
the sharpest turn possible, because of the speed the trees are moving at and the turn you're going to have to make, I'm going to say, Captain, make me a d20 check.
Oh,
And this will be to see if you can turn your ship within range. The other given and the Admiral is coordinating the other ships at this time, so he can give the order anyway, but you've got most of the firepower.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay. Giving the order, the helmsman turns the ship and begins to turn. The crew all grab onto their ropes as they prepare to move. The cannons.
Can I use the. Are they siegeable structures?
Yes, they are.
I would like to cite a weakness.
Okay. You begin to point out the various ones and where to hit. That gives advantage on the next attack against them, or what was that? This is sight of weakness, you said?
Yeah,
Does an action make a wisdom insight or perception check? A siegeable structure. After doing so, you inform those within shot of the weakness. Okay, so you let out the shout to the rest of the crew as the individuals below are informed of how best to fire the chain shots, as you shout out that they should fire at the legs. If they can knock the legs out from under these things, they're effectively useless. As that order is given, the rest of them prepare, moving over to the starboard side once again, moving the cannons in position and preparing their shots. As the majority of shots go off, the chain shot wrapping around and flying forward, quite a lot of them are hit and quite a lot of them are felled. But you notice that quite a few of them are protected by other magics from the druids behind them to move forward. Most of the reinforcements that came up before have been, at this point, decimated by squadrons 2 and 3 that have moved in and battered the rest of them. And the landing army is moving up. Sim, at this point, because of your natural 20, I'll say you watch as what looks to be a rather obnoxiously bright purple company within your ranks on the lower ground begin to move up the beachhead. You can see Alge running forward, currently spinning a spear in the air as he throws it through the air. It shoots across the battlefield, striking into one of the Arborians, before you watch as other ones within their company raise up what looks to be purplish glass shields and begin to run forward ahead of the rest of the company following up. Spells being flung, arrows being fired, as they are preparing to fight this front that has made their way to them.
It seems that they know how to deal with it.
I would also like you to roll me another perception check, as you've currently performed a very sharp turn at this point.
Oh, that's a 14.
That's a 14. Okay. Looking out across the rest of it, you notice something out of the corner of your eye, and this is going to cost you 1 round of 5 rounds that you currently have access to.
Okay.
Alright, so...
Why is there a clock?
Why is there a clock indeed?
Uh-oh.
Oh, because it's the actual time of day.
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
Is it the engine?
This is 20 minutes as you watch as from the forest, the trees themselves, quite a lot of them move forward, and you focus your attention on them as you watch as large creeping vines begin to rise up and erupt from the earth, shooting towards the ships. As you are now within a good amount of range. You have 20 minutes, also known as 4 rounds of actions before they hit the ship.
Okay, then.
So you have 20 minutes to discuss, and every 5 minutes is going to be a round.
So then, right, what we can do... We could try to get ahead of where they're aiming, although I doubt that's useful. We could... For this first round, what do people suggest, other than just going full speed ahead and hoping for the best?
An estimation of what the range might be?
Of the vines?
Yeah.
If they're attacking you from this range, then at least 800 feet.
Okay.
We may still be in range, but we may be able to dodge in some way the way they're coming. It depends whether they can change in the air or not, their direction.
Also depends how high they can go.
Because I'm guessing the guns aren't reloaded yet.
No,
Damn
they
it.
need to be reloaded.
I thought I could cast haste on the ship, but it needs to be a creature, and the ship isn't a creature.
What's the range of the dragon cannon?
20 feet.
Oh, fucking hell, that's not very much at all.
Dragon cannons for effectively ramming things. It's a very close range weapon because of that.
Yeah.
Now, do these seem to be coming from one source?
Yes, the forest. Where it's mostly wrapping around the beach, this is what's probably referred to as the
No,
biggest
what I meant is there doesn't seem like there's just one thing in the forest causing
No.
this, or they're just coming
It's
just from the
spreading
forest in
out from
general.
several different sources.
Okay. Right then. I'm going to suggest we do because we're currently pointing sidewards to this, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make ourselves a smaller target. We're going to point the ship towards this. Therefore, there's less of our side showing. Therefore, it's a smaller profile. So.
Should we try to rise up?
And yes, pull the ship up
I have-
at this.
I have an idea. I can cast Wall of Force on the underside of the ship. That might help.
Do it. Anything will help.
What's the... Well, there's still 4 rounds until they reach us.
Yes, there's 4
Yeah.
rounds until it hits.
There's
So,
something to do. Yeah. 1 action to cast it. Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Do we have oil on the ship?
You have gunpowder.
We have gunpowder. How about we just carpet bomb the forest? We just drop payloads of gunpowder and Sim, if you could shoot them. Literally just try and blow the forest to hell.
That's not a bad shout.
It depends how fast they're gonna fall.
Yeah, on top of that, it depends if our ships will be able to move faster than them vines.
We're not over the forest yet, are we, Chris?
No, not yet.
No, you've gone over the main defenses. You're about 400 feet away from the forest, but you're about 800 feet up.
Okay, right then. Well, I think
So we're around here.
I'm liking this plan. What we need to do is all ahead full, which makes us go faster.
Doubles
One
the
d6
speed.
multiplier to our speed.
Cool.
So
We're
I'm
gonna
getting
need
Yes.
D6.
all the snipers we can to be shooting barrels at any opportunity. If the Admiral can relay that to the other ships as well, potentially.
Thing is, we lose if we drop all the gunpowder, then we lose our cannons. Lose all the gunpowder.
Also, it takes time for the barrels to reach the forest.
It's true, but hopefully we don't use all the gunpowder. Not all of it, anyway. But there's enough between all of the ships to just smother the forest.
At least start a fire.
Just
Oops,
start a
nope.
fire, hopefully maybe get the druids that are in there, because part of me feels
But-
that they might have something to do with
We
this.
need to decide our
There we go.
first action.
Okay,
Uh,
so
I could
So-
try to cast a fire spell on the forest, but I don't think I have enough ring.
you probably won't.
No.
What we'll say for now is all ahead full. So I'm going to roll that, Chris, if that's okay.
Okay, so I'm pausing it there. So
Yeah.
from the general say of what was going is all ahead full. You are rising up and heading towards the forest so that you reduce
Yes.
your surface area.
Exactly.
Wall of Force would be either cast this round or on the 4th round. I wasn't entirely sure on that one.
I'm not going to do it until the things are getting closer, because it's a small thing.
How long does it last?
10
I
minutes.
can,
10 minutes.
if I'm not hit,
Come on.
it can be up to 10 minutes.
Cool.
So I think I won't be able to actually hull, so I might try and protect like the ship's engine or some other vulnerable part of it instead.
So
Okay, so you'll start making your way towards the Promethean core to protect that.
Yes.
If that goes,
it's
the ship
only
goes.
10 foot by 10 foot. It's not very much.
That would be
Right
more,
then.
that would be enough to cover most of the Promethean core.
But I could just encircle it in a sphere.
so
So,
we're going to roll for all ahead full.
okay, so it is the d6 times 5. That's additional feet. 5 additional feet as movement as it is proceeding to move
That's not
forward.
good.
This will occur. This will continue. So this will be cumulative. So it's 5
Cool.
additional feet. Then next turn you get to roll d6 again. That many additional feet plus the additional 5 from
Cool.
last turn. So,
Well, effectively saying maintain that for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that everything from this round we discussed? The
Uh,
we're still
can-
over our own troops right now. For the
yes,
Yeah.
you are currently.
Can we
on
still take
No, that's
shots?
not yet.
I will say from the angle that you are taking, you would not be able to take shots at anything other than the Arborians if you wish to, because you are rising up to about 900, 1,000 feet. So
Okay, cool.
Hume's going to go to the armory and I'm going to try and find all the scrap metal I can put into some barrels as well for shrapnel.
okay, improvised and sudden shrapnel shot.
Yes.
Also,
We're inventing carpet bombing!
as
Well,
I'm
you know.
running past down below deck, can I stop by the medical bay quickly and order everyone to brace in case of impact?
Okay, bracing for impact. Okay. At this moment, from the forest, the vines and tendrils begin to rise up, reaching towards the ship. The spiked kind of outer ring of them, as they shoot up in various small and larger bunches. The small ones protruding from the larger main vines, shooting up towards where you currently are. Beginning of the third round begins.
Alright.
So, what would you like to do at this point?
Well, I'm assuming we're going to start moving the barrels to the top of the ship so we can throw them overboard. So I will take some of the crew that were on the guns that aren't loading the guns to help maneuver the barrels. I'll also talk to the bosun and take all the crew that he has spare.
All the deck crew will be
Okay.
down as well.
So the deck hands are going to proceed to start carrying barrels, preparing to lob a few of them overboard to start fires.
I suggest we rise for one more round, and then we flatten out because we need to.
Yeah,
Get
about 1,000 feet up.
We should be fine, but we don't know the max range of those
Yeah,
tendrils.
we
They
don't
might just
know
be
the
there
max
waiting.
range of those.
Um,
Above 1,000 feet should be fine, though, I think.
we should be fine, and then
I hope.
from there, it's just going to be a case of plowing on forwards as much as we can, get over them so we can get effective dropping of these. Well, also, because I think I'm tempted to have the ship pivot, but I know that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, Sim can stand on the underside of the ship. Just take shots
Oh, yeah.
from there.
Can I shoot the tendrils coming at him?
You can this round, yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah.
We'll
I'll
resolve
attempt
that.
to,
We'll resolve that when the turn goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else got any ideas? Because I can't think of anything other than just keep going.
What happens if they somehow get to us?
Well, we draw cutlasses and we cut them off.
Then they'll hit the ship. These are probably, I'd say, about 20 to 50 foot thick tendrils.
There's a lot of cutting that needs to be happening then.
Yes, these kinds of things, if they hit the side of your ship, they will shred through it.
And they're coming from the underside, so the dragon cannon won't be able to be
They are currently
fired
coming from
either.
the other side, yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what would. I can't decide whether we should load the cannons with grape shot or chain shot, in case we get an opportunity to aid the other ships about the place.
Well, currently, I don't know if I actually saw if you heard this, but I currently I've got chain shot and I've got normal shot.
Cool,
Being
fine,
loaded.
whatever.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So chain shots on which one? Starboard or port?
Chain shot is on the side that already had chain shot. I'm keeping that. The only thing I've changed was grape
So
shot to
port
normal.
side. And grape shot
Yeah.
is going to. So grape shot is going to normal on starboard and chain on port. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm facing directly on.
Okay. Astra, you make your way in. You can see the Promethean core there. You can see the various Giff currently shoveling what looks to be large quantities of Promethean ore into the core as they proceed to seal it up. As you go in and you give the shout for bracing for impact, as quite a few of them immediately move away from the Promethean core and grab onto nearby like wooden handles where they would be able to keep themselves safe. Captain, you give the orders for rising and moving forward still. So go ahead and roll me that d6 for d6 additional movement. d6 times 5 additional movement, I should say.
Sam.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like.
You want to roll for your all head full? Yeah. So you are now moving an additional 15 feet. Because it's cumulative until you get to plus 50 feet. So keep moving forward at a faster pace. You're beginning to rise. Some of the other ships are following with you. You can see down below the second and third company are beginning to rise as well, but not as quickly. And the fourth company is going further down to the ground to aid more against the Arboreans.
I was just thinking, maybe we should have just went straight into them.
What, just
Right.
plowed right into
Like, just
them?
fucking plow straight down and then flip the ship.
You've
and
got
shoot.
2 more rounds if you want to if you want to change orders.
Is it one spike or is there multiple?
There's multiple. There's probably anywhere from 100 to 500 tendrils currently shifting up. Various thicknesses. Some of them are maybe about 3 foot thick. Some are about 25 to 50 foot thick.
Okay, this is going to be a bit crazy. How big's a Promethean core explosion?
About 200 foot diameter.
How big's the
Jamie,
forest?
we need the Promethean core. We need the Promethean core. We won't get out of this alive. We are not
that's why
dropping the Promethean core on them.
That's why I'm creating an impenetrable wall around it.
No, but are the 2 damaged ships still with us?
No, they've said no.
No.
Okay.
No.
They got sent
Oh,
back.
no,
and we're not.
it-
Okay,
I
right.
don't want
we
to
are-
kill people. I was gonna get everyone off them ships and just have them like
We are
automatically
not using
flying.
fire ships.
It's either that or all these ships
Kamikaze
get blown up.
shit.
Chris, what's the smallest ship in the? Wait, we've got lifeboats. We
We've
could
got
sack. No, that's a terrible idea. We might need them to save our lives later.
Just chuck 'em.
Yeah, the smallest ships in your repertoire are known as the Mosquitoes. They are housed by 3 crew member. None of them are captains. They don't have any cannons other than a front ballista, and they are maybe 3 times faster than the biggest ship, which is yours.
They are fucking useless. Okay then, we're gonna get them up here. We're gonna need them.
Okay, so on the second round, as you proceed to give the order for carrying the barrels up, quite a lot of the Giff proceed to move to the edge of the ship, carrying these large barrels of gunpowder and preparing to drop them over the edge. The captain gives the order for further rising and keeping the speed up as more Promethean is shoveled in. Astra prepares for casting Wall of Force as a last-minute kind of protection. And Sim, you have 2 shots to take at these tendrils.
I'll try and weaken them up.
Yeah. Are you aiming for the bigger ones or the smaller ones?
I'm aiming for like the middle part, so it's like, so like it ships. Taking
Okay,
a chunk
try
of
and slow it down or
yeah,
sever
take a
it.
chunk of it. So even if they hit, it's like less of an impact.
Go ahead and make me the attack roll.
Damn it! That's a 60.
Doesn't hit. As the shot hits, it explodes on the side of one of them, kind of leaving out a little bit of a fiery ripple, but not actually hitting.
24.
24 just hits. As the explosion hits on the side of it, you watch as a portion of it begins to kind of erupt outwards. What damage are you doing?
2d10 piercing,
Piercing.
but
Okay.
it's blast. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me your 2d10. Okay. That is 11 plus 5, correct?
Plus 6.
Plus 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Doing 17 points of damage. You go ahead and you take the shot. It hits the side of the structure itself. Doesn't seem to be that much phased as it continues to shoot up towards the ship. But you get a sense that these things are hardy. After all, they're trees. You can see. I'll say, go ahead and roll me a perception check to see how the ground forces are doing at this time as well.
20.
Looking down, you can see that the currently the ground forces have moved up. The main elite squads are beginning to take down the Arboreans and beginning to affect the Druids. As they're beginning to advance forward, you are watching as roots are erupting through the earth as well, of similar thickness towards the main bulkhead of the front line that's currently moving forward to the forest, as they are also being assaulted. The 4th Squadron has vines and tendrils travelling towards it as well, but it is prioritizing breaking up the roots to allow the front ground forces to move forward, as they are getting incredibly low to the ground, preparing to drop off ship once their ships are damaged or destroyed. Squadrons 2 and 3 are beginning to prepare for a broadside tilt to fire upon the tendrils, but the tendrils are still moving fairly quickly towards them. So, Round 3 begins. 2 more rounds until the tendrils are either upon you or one of the other squadrons.
Okay.
Alright, are we dropping off the things? Where are we located right now?
Up here.
Okay, so we're here.
That's where
You're,
Holmes was.
you're a bit more here, but
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So are we dropping down the barrels now?
Are we over the things now?
you're over the vines, yes. Over the forest, no.
Right, I've got an idea. Those mosquitoes, we can take 6 men onto their ship. They're small enough that they're not going to be a great loss. And we can load them up with this gunpowder and have them a bit more guided down.
Okay. So you're going to have.
Then we have no safety though.
So you're going to have mosquito fire ships.
Effectively, yes, because they got 1 ballista and that ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, but it's our escape mechanism, aren't they?
No, mosquitoes are separate ships.
Oh,
Attack ship.
They're the small. They're effectively
the lifeboats.
escort ships.
Okay.
They're escort ships.
They're escort ships, yeah.
ah,
Because we can't deal with every small ship flying about us. They can.
yeah,
Because they're small ships.
that
But
works.
we don't have the big problem right now. We're not sacrificing the lifeboats because that's silly.
Yeah.
Besides, looking at the amount of lifeboats, I don't think there's enough for everybody on the cruise. So
There's more about. It's just I didn't want to overload the side with lifeboats.
But that's what the Titanic said, Chris, and look what happened.
It's true.
Oh god, is this our iceberg?
Yeah, this is.
And the forest is the iceberg.
Yeah. So,
Right, and so,
what are the orders being given?
well,
Alright.
are the mosquitoes up
The
to us?
mosquitoes can be called to you. They will then have 1 round to act.
So they won't come to us the turn we call them.
You will call them, and they will ride up to the side of your ship. You will then load them, and they will they will go down and explode. They will be about maybe 20 feet from the bottom of the ship when that happens, because they don't have the full rounds to move as fast as they can.
But they can break the impact of the.
But they can break the impact, yes.
So that's what we're gonna do. We get because quite frankly, if they break the impact, oh well, it's a bit of a shame. But I'm not suggesting loading all the gunpowder we've gathered on top of our deck, because quite frankly, preferably the ships will be on fire.
Okay, so mosquitoes are ordered to come over, flying to the side of the sides of your ship. Your men start loading gunpowder onto them. A few of the men do swap places, as some of them do salute them, and as they change position, some of them prepared to do this.
Oh god, we're set.
No! Automatic. Just to put a brick on the.
It's not how it works, Sam.
You're
Then
brave,
you-
man.
It
We will remember you.
only needs 1 individual to do this. Usually
Okay,
it consists of 1 manning the helm, someone manning the ballista, and then another one spotting with a rifle, or maybe manning the engine. That would be it.
Sim stands out and yells out, salutes first, and then yells out, "For the motherland, comrade, we will be honored."
Oh, I give the order for all men to salute these 2 brave men.
Okay.
I know this is a waste of time, but fuck it.
As they prepare to get on, the mosquitoes, loading well, and they proceed to aim the ships. Astra, are you just preparing to cast Wall of Force, or are you doing it this turn?
I will be doing it this turn.
Okay.
I want to protect the core and with myself inside.
Okay, so you're going to stand right next to the Promethean core and Wall of Force around it.
Yeah. So
This goes wrong.
it
If
won't
this
be able
goes
to
wrong,
hit me.
only 1 Giff has to die.
That's fine. I'm just the soul. I'm just the one who's sewing your legs back on when they get blown off.
It's fine, there's still a simulacrum back in the medical bay.
Yeah, wouldn't she die if I die?
No,
Cool.
she just can never be healed. So, you proceed to cast Wall of Force, protecting the Promethean core, yourself inside of that. Hulem, are you giving any orders?
Well, are we still loading barrels, or is that
You've loaded barrels at this point, so do you have anything you want the other men to do?
just aid and support where they can? Are the cannons loaded?
The cannons are loaded, but the men need to get back to them.
Okay, then basically back to the battle stations.
Okay. Captain, are you giving any maneuvers? So ship controls, because you said flatting out, so you flat out and you're moving forward. Any other?
Get over the forest.
Yeah, we need to get over the fast. Ramming speed doesn't actually make us go any faster, does it?
No, just means that it just means that you'd be able to ram something directly ahead of you. Any maneuvers, or just moving forward?
I think moving forwards, and next turn I'll put on ramming speed just to be prepared for any bullshit.
Okay. So, continuing to move forward.
That's 20.
For ramming speed.
For all ahead full.
Oh, all ahead full. Okay, so now you're at maximum plus 30 foot move speed.
Yes.
Because it goes up to a max of 30. So,
Go.
as you're proceeding to move forward, now continuing to get there, the tendrils get extremely close, the mosquitoes turning to face downwards as they fly down and fly into the vines. Various explosions go off from the impact and the blowing up of the gunpowder. The tendrils that were coming up, most of the lighter ones have been charred and are beginning to fall back. The larger ones are still merging through the smoke. What are your orders?
Are we firing at them?
Are they in range to be fired at, Chris? Or they're in range?
You'd need to broadside tilt to fire up on them.
Yeah, okay.
Currently,
Are they coming up?
I'll pause for
coming
this
at us from-
drawing.
Are they coming at us from both sides, or?
So currently, your ship is based like that. They are coming from underneath, but looking at your ship from the side, they are going to hit you from this direction, coming up and in.
And are they all coming from that side?
Most of them are all coming from that side, yes. There are a few
So
others, but they are smaller ones, and they're presumably going after the crew.
Okay, so we
You
can just a little bit of tilt, then we can hit them.
Yeah,
Little bit of tilt.
You can order a tilt, and then you can fire the front cannons, but the rest of the back ones won't hit. And at this
Or-
point, they are coming in on your port side, which is regular shot.
Yeah, it's regular shot.
Okay, I've got a stupid plan.
Well,
Like this hasn't been filled with stupid plans already. Why don't we point the ship directly at it and use the dragon cannon at the main clump coming towards us?
It's multiple, not just one.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
the dragon cannon is an area. It's a 30-foot cone.
It's
Okay.
true, but are they coming at us like this?
It's a little bit more densely packed. You're looking at something more like, so if you've got the underside of the ship here, they probably end up hitting more like this.
Okay, so if
That's
we
quite
point the
frankly,
dragon
right
cannon,
now-
we could potentially hit all of them.
Yes.
We could hit with the
Okay.
dragon cannon. We could hit all of them, and quite frankly, I don't think we've got any way to stop them from hitting us other than this.
The front of the ship is gonna get fucked.
Yeah, if this
I
goes
think-
wrong, the front of the ship is going to get fucked.
If this
Correct.
goes wrong, they're gonna plow straight through the ship.
There's either way they're going to plow through the strip. One way we let them, the other way we try to stop them.
At that point, do we want all the men on the ship?
Well, we've got the Promethean core at least.
That's true. Promethean core, stay healthy.
So
That's true, yeah.
We at least won't get killed by our own hardware.
I actually think that's a good idea.
point the ship towards it. Use the dragon cannon.
Okay.
Does
I
anyone
don't
need to be at the front to use the dragon cannon, or can it be shot from...
No, Jamie can just give the order.
Okay.
Is the dragon cannon
So-
telepathic?
No, so there are people manned there.
Ah,
Move everyone back, so, like, at the front. Move
Yeah.
everyone back.
Well, quite frankly, I'm slightly disappointed how no one actually got themselves organised on this deck.
But I'm just not moving them because that would take
Yeah.
a lot of your 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, not right
So
now, but
move
this is
everyone
before
as
the
far
fight.
back as possible so they don't get hit.
Okay.
So bring them like back to the rear mast.
Okay. So, I'll say, unless you have any further planning.
No.
Anyone got anything else?
Are we dropping the barrels?
Are we over the forest right now? Chris?
The
Yeah.
barrel, you aren't currently. If you're making the tilt to face towards them, you won't be right above. You'll be above the forest, but there will be a ton of vines in the way. So if they go off, they're going to hit your ship. Otherwise, the majority of them were put on the mosquitoes as fire ships. And then the rest of the men were told to get below deck. So a lot of the barrels are actually just tied down at the top, if that.
Okay, so I forgot about that if I'm honest. But looks like we're stuck with the dragon cannon. Let's do it.
Okay.
Anyone got any objections?
I drop them, I can shoot them and maybe hit some of the vines.
Fine, we'll find some brave men to stand at the barrels.
Okay. A few of the men begin to drop barrels over the edge. I'll say Sim, you'll get 2 shots, and unless you wish to use action surge, and your
Oh yeah, I'm using action surge.
Dimitri will use 2 shots. I would also like Sam. I'd like you to make me a D20 check for the helmsman to perform a successful about turn, tilt, and ramming speed, which is quite a complex command here.
And I'll be using precise shot on all of these.
Go ahead.
So I should have plus 16 to hit.
Okay, go ahead and roll me the thing, Sam.
I don't want to let it. Oh fuck it.
Finding one.
21 to hit. You, as the barrel is falling, it's a difficult shot to make, but you fire. With the impact of the explosion, it does blow off portions of the tendrils as they begin to go into flames and scatter back. A few of the smaller tendrils are taken out. The ship turns, the ramming action taken as it is beginning to prepare to go into the tendrils itself. The order is given from the dragon cannon from Hulem as the second barrel is shot. Go ahead and make me another attack roll there. Using precise shot again.
Yeah, on all of these. That's
Okay.
a 32.
Okay, that hits, and go ahead and make your other 2 attacks for me.
I got a 15 by the way, Chris.
Okay. Yeah. As all the shots are made, they proceed to burn away at large portions of the tendrils on this vine as the dragon cannon. Okay. That's a natural 20.
Oh!
So, as you tilt the ship and begin to head down into the main large cluster heading straight for the flagship, the dragon cannon fires off, and the ramming action proceeds to break away portions of the tendrils as they are shot and broken to one side or the other, the charred remains of it cutting down as you begin to travel down towards the ground. A few of the smaller tendrils that are wrapping around the outside of the ship, they won't be able to slow it down because of the nature of this, but they are going to be damaging some of the crew who are above ground. At this current time, you watch as the rest of the fleet is beginning to follow behind yours. A few ships are also lost as the tendrils break into them. You watch as the 4th company is almost entirely decimated as the flagship explodes from its Promethean core going off. A bunch of the other ships and mosquitoes around it are scattered, the vines breaking in, cutting through them, the flames and the tendrils wrapping around one another. The Arborians on the lower ground are now fighting and taking out various platoons as the ground is currently attempting to push forward past them. The 2nd and 3rd company take quite a lot of damaging hits as quite a lot of the ships begin to stall from their masts and their Promethean cores being damaged. As quite a few of them begin to drop. The flagships and some of the mosquitoes are being well protected and helmed as they are keeping themselves going. Though currently you have lost probably about 25% of the 2nd and 3rd company. You've lost about 80 to 90% of the 4th company, including the flagship. And because of how it's gone for you, you've probably lost about 10% of the 1st company. However, you are currently diving towards the forest. There are more tendrils up ahead as they are proceeding to move forward into your ship. There is still a thick cluster of
Bugger.
No, the dragon cannon's out of
The
commission
dragon
now.
cannon's out of juice, so it's released its first volley. So this will be just a straight up ramming action now.
The vines that are on are already clinging to the ship. Are any of them in front of the cannon?
There are a few of them that would be, yes. They're more around the front port side because of the direction they came in. So
Okay.
you could fire off a couple of regular shots to try and shatter and break those tendrils if you wanted to.
Cool. Then I'm going to do that to try and break the ones that are on the ship. All the cannons that have got vines in fire,
Okay.
providing there's no ships behind them.
No. Well, there aren't any of the lower down behind in
Yeah,
the vines.
cool.
As the various cannons are fired, breaking portions of the smaller ones, you are watching as men are being attacked on the upper deck of the smaller tendrils, as some of them are being blasted apart, breaking off and falling off the side of the ship. You watch as the ship rams into the main tendril coming up, as the two of them collide with one another. I'm going to roll the attack roll for each of them. The ship got an 18, and the tendril got a 3. As the two of them collide with one another, the ship absorbing most of the damage as the main tendril is broken a bit and pushed back, the ship crashing into it, a loud creak and buckling of metal. The dragon cannon is now unusable because of how badly it's just taken that hit. But the front of the ship and the bulkhead has absorbed a lot of the damage and impacted heavily on these tendrils. You begin to watch as they begin to burst through the hull. Hulem, you watch as some of the cannons are destroyed by the various tendrils wrapping through.
Son of a...
And at this time, you're watching as some of the tendrils that are breaking through, you're watching as these mild green and purple masses begin to climb on board.
Fuck.
Some of you would recognize them as shambling horrors. As they
Fuck.
Shambling mounds, sorry, as they move onto the deck and they begin to tear through the ship and begin to attack some of the men.
Okay, right.
Continues. Is there anything you wish to attempt to do?
Well, we ordered most of the crew, bar the few that threw the barrels of the front, to be
at the back. So you've
be at the
currently
back.
got
So
effectively a
could-
gun line, and the front
could
of
we
the
actually
ship has been
just gonna move
mostly
these models
decimated.
back, because this is just annoying.
Yeah.
Whoops, that guy did not die falling from the mast.
Sure. They all say. It was an
No,
accident. I swear.
I mean, I want them properly back all over her.
I'm assuming I'm still I'm below deck.
You're below deck, yes, along with quite a lot of the others. Sim, you're currently above deck. Astra, you're straight up in the Promethean core as you watch as one of the tendrils comes through, smashes against the wall of force, and just is shunted off through another one of the walls on the other side. Promethean core is safe. As the men prepare a gun line, you're watching as some of the the vines are beginning to reach up through the base of the ship and into the masts. So, what is your current orders?
Okay, they don't look to be stopping anytime soon.
No. With you currently basically driving into them, you're going to do a big amount of damage to the vines, as they are to you. The ship's probably going to go down. Promethean core's still going to be okay, so it's not going to blow up. The main problem is the casualties here.
Can't we just evacuate ship?
You can?
Get non-essential men, or get everyone off the ship. If the ship's going down, I am 100% happy to go down with the ship and the Promethean core, and I will detonate that sucker in a glorious way.
I like
Right, how can you draw on the map how it's currently looking? I need to see
Okay, so
an updated image.
let me quickly rub this bit out. So currently, because of the direction you took, you turned and you proceeded to head down. So currently, the vines have risen up and they're wrapping around your ship in various manners, and they're all sprouting from the forest. Your ship is currently here, ploughing through the middle of it, with the rest of the fleet in a V-shape formation behind you, also firing shots and traveling with you.
Okay. And
It looks like a snack. It's a snack.
we're going to split the snake. How far are we from the ground?
At this point, you're probably about 600 feet.
Okay, and you said the Promethean core explosion is 200 feet.
200 feet, yeah. You've got about another 3 or 4 rounds before you hit the floor. So it's just a matter of protecting what men you can if you're going to fly into the ground with the rest of the fleet.
We need to get to at least here
Hmm.
to abandon ship, and then we fucking blow them.
Yeah, that's fine. We
We're
need to make
splitting
sure.
the snake. Alright.
Someone will need to let me know because I'm stuck in a bubble downstairs.
Yeah, I'll be coming down. Don't panic. I'm
Wait,
eyeing that
where's the
meeting
cabin
board.
boy? We must have a cabin boy.
Yes,
Send
sir.
the small. Right, go tell the surgeon who's down by the Promethean core that we're gonna run away.
What is that? We're making
Not
a
running.
tactical retreat.
We're making a
abandoning
valiant
We are
sacrifice.
advancing backwards.
So,
Abandoning ship, surely.
the main things that I want to know here: where is everybody going to be located? Because Sim, currently you're in the crow's nest with Dimitri. Now
We
the
said
two,
they're-
the two of you have
getting to
rings
the
of Featherfall, so you guys can just jump off.
Oh, we don't. I have the boots of spider climbing.
You also have the boots of spider climbing, so you can just run.
No. He.
Yeah. No, I mean,
you
I
just
chose
had-
the boots of siren climbing. I don't have the ring.
Oh,
You said
right.
I can have either
You can
boots of
have
feather
one or
falling
the
or
other, so
boots
you
of spider
chose to
climbing.
go for the. Spider
Is there
climbing.
ropes connecting the masts?
Yeah.
I can just fucking go through mast to mast
Okay.
from the rope.
You're gonna run to the other mast.
No, well, I'm first consoling with Dimitri how he's gonna get past.
I'm going to jump down. I'm going to try and land and run below decks if I can. Join the rest of them, or try and get the boats ready for jumping off.
We don't want people
Alright.
below deck. We need them on the main
Don't
deck
die.
so everyone can get off.
After this is over, I need a drinking buddy. And I'll head over to this map.
Okay.
That was cute.
You run over to that mast. He jumps down. He's going to proceed to make his way over.
I'm
across-
shooting down the fucking middle, by the way.
Yeah.
I was
fine.
making as many explosions as I.
Okay.
I'm having these guys form a firing line as a shambling mound. Managed to get on
Back.
deck.
Trying to split as many of
I'm effectively having them do ordered volleys of fire.
Yeah.
Rather
With
than
the
just
ordered-
scattered shooting.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Oh no.
8. The men proceed to fire with the ordered volleys. The shambling mound's not taking too much damage because they seem to take
I could
some attacks,
add my.
but quite a large portion of them are being taken down. The Admiral joins you and the rest of them as he also proceeds to give orders and aid in what you're doing. At which point he relays the order to everybody. The other ships will pick us up in about 10 to 20 seconds. We're going to have to jump ship. The other ships will catch us. Make sure that you're prepared to land.
Alright.
Okay.
Are we
Everyone-
blowing up?
Abandon ship!
Are we blowing up?
Yes.
He looks
We are
at the
going-
captain.
We are going to blow up the ship, and
Yes.
someone needs to do it.
I am 100% on my way to Promethean core.
Hume runs
Now-
down the stairs towards the Promethean
But the
core.
captain goes down with the ship, not the
I
master
salute
gunner.
Hume
And
for the motherland.
just before I go down, I'm going to speak to the captain. Captain, the crew. They need a captain. They need you to lead them. I can't lead. I can't even do a speech very well.
You saw what I did, right?
Doesn't matter. You're in the position you're in because you're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do, making shit go bang. I'm gonna make shit go bang. Make sure you have a pot of tea ready and waiting in my name.
Very well.
For the motherland.
This is
Okay.
going to be massively embarrassing at the captain's ball. I mean, my ship blew up and I didn't die with it.
So,
Oh, the wife's going to be pissed off.
as what? Because you survived.
It was a matter of convenience. Love fell out of it.
I thought I was finally rid of that buffoon.
So, as the order is given, the firing lines continue. The ship continuing to plough through, the helmsman jamming the helm so that it will continue on its course. As the
Why can't the fire ships do that?
Huh?
Why can the fire ships do that?
Because they needed to turn and fly because they were only given 1 round.
Fair.
If they had an additional round, they would have been able to turn, jam, and jump off.
Oh well. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
That's...
So, as you prepare for the coming round, all of the men preparing their shots, lining them up and firing orderly towards the shambling mounds. The roots and the vines breaking through, the cracking and the shredding of the hull as it travels through, various masts being snapped and broken. Whatever cannons are being hit at this current time seem to be going off with various shots, delaying them further. As Hulem, you run down towards the Promethean core, and you can see Astra's currently there, hands outstretched, currently creating a wall of force, which you watch as another one of the vines comes in and sheerly bounces off the wall of force and travels out the wall again.
Okay. I'm gonna load my +2 ammo,
Okay.
Right. and I'm going to inform her that she's to abandon ship. I'm gonna protect the core until we hit the ground. Damn right.
I look over. My patience.
Oh shit!
They were all at the front of the ship. They're probably all gone anyway.
My
Yeah,
simulacrum.
The front of the ship is
Oh,
gone.
fuck.
There's
Probably
this.
also
Oh no. Did I get like any? Do I get any notification if my simulacrum dies?
Yeah, just gotta bling.
No,
Dead.
maybe. Who knows? You might find them when you hit the ground or evacuate.
There's a
Yeah,
high
this is
chance
very-
she's
the lacrum has
probably not
not.
made it.
Well, tell you what. Let's get everybody off the ship that we can. And those that can't, oh well, it was meant to be.
You just get a notification. Simulacrum has stopped playing Tabletop Simulator.
No, there's this
Lacrum
thing is,
has stopped playing
and what you
a lot.
get is in the top left corner. Just Telltale's game style. Simulacrum will remember this as we leave them to die.
All
Simulacrum.
the injured
server.
patients will remember this.
Okay. In that case, I want to nod, and I want to drop the wall of force, and then I'm going to dash over and see if the clinic has survived.
Okay.
If so, I want to try and help evacuate.
Moving towards it, you can see that it has mostly been swarmed over with vines. You can see that your simulacrum, along with a few other nurses, have been ferrying people through. However, quite a lot of them are trapped and are otherwise in a bad situation. You can see shambling mounds currently reaching down and grabbing a few of them and tossing them out through broken parts of the hull as they are just tossing them out of the ship and otherwise moving through. The vine recedes back through as the shambling mound moves forward to where you and the retreating individuals are. So, as the beginning of the next round begins, the order for evacuation as the men move up onto deck, various other ships come in closer so that you can jump across to them. Various individuals set up planks. At this high speed that you're currently traveling at, they fire some of the grapple shots so that people can climb across as people begin to move over and dismount to the other boats. As other shots are given, the main ramming end at this point begins to buckle. You hear it twist as the dragon cannon flies off to one side, hitting one of the other ships and blowing it up, one of the smaller ones, as it breaks and is just scattered by the large sheet of metal that travels with it. The vines ahead, as they are becoming thicker, begin to slow the ship as it currently is, but it is still making good headway and it should still hit the ground.
Where's it currently at?
Currently, you are Vidra and Snack.
Splitting the snake.
As you are currently about here.
Oh, the snake has gotten smaller.
Oh, no, it hasn't.
It has
No, it's just gotten very...
Okay,
It's
you've
become
seen
the divided.
snakes. Have you guys seen snakes? Like, I don't know why I've seen so many food, but snakes dislocate their jaw in order to eat their food. That's what this snake has done. We're fucked.
It's about to wrap around this.
Type here.
What?
Oh,
So-
perfect.
As you're,
Wrong arrow.
as you're proceeding to plough forward, what would you like to do in order to protect against the shambling mounds as people are retreating, Astra?
What am I seeing in front of me?
You're currently seeing two shambling mounds currently rushing forward, proceeding to break through portions of the deck and attempting to grab people on either side of you who are currently retreating from the medical bay.
Are there people behind them, or is it just them?
It's just them. They're the last ones to run, where you're probably the next person in front of them.
In that case, I want to cast Shatter at 6th level.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, the two of them... One of them makes their save.
Just my patience.
Doesn't. I thought you said you were going to fire them at your patience then.
No. No
so
one
the
touches my patience.
The damage of Shatter is 3d8 at 2nd level. So that would make it 7d8 damage. That. Go ahead and roll your 7d8 force damage.
Come on, come on. Oh, damn it.
As you cast Shatter in the area where it was, bits of the hull begin to splinter. One of the shambling mounds kind of recedes back as the other one reaches forward. It's going to attempt an attack against you.
Okay.
That is a 23 to hit.
That probably hits me.
As it reaches out and it slams into the side of you, you take... Not the best rolls. You take 19 points of bludgeoning damage as the single arm reaches out and it slams into the side of you, knocking you back a bit as they proceed to move forward following your patience. You watch as one of the vines where you cast the Shatter begins to break and splinter and recedes back out from the ship's hull. Hyimer. Down inside of the Promethean core and looking out, you can see as a tendril reaches in and is going to attempt to puncture in through the Promethean core.
I am gonna take a shot at it.
Go ahead and make me 5 attack rolls, please.
Before he misfires and detonates the thing.
Mm.
Oh!
Okay, 1, 2...
That's plus 11.
Plus 11 with these smaller vines. Their AC is 18. So that is 4 hits, one of which is a natural 20, so it does triple damage. So go ahead and roll that many d4s.
I think all 4 of them are...
4 of them are hits, one of them's a natural 20.
I mean, like 3 of them are punched through.
Oh, yes, 3 of them are punch through, which means... Oh no, 2 of them are punch through, because it's plus 5.
Oh yeah.
So 2 of them are punch through, so that makes it an additional 8 plus 8 plus 3 plus 3, so 16 plus 6, so plus 22. That does 38 points of damage as you... Oh wait, no, because this is additional. This is plus 2 ammo.
Yeah.
Yee.
So actually, no, that would be an additional punch through. Are you account with the plus 11? Were you accounting for plus 2 or?
No, I wasn't counting for plus 2.
Okay, so that's another punch through, which is plus 5 plus an additional 4. So that becomes 47 points of damage as you fire off 5 shots, puncturing through the vine as it recedes back, pulling and almost hearing this very shrill screech as the tendril pulls back. And you can hear another racketing on the hull as you watch as 2 shambling mounds crawl in from one portion of the a break in the hull where the vines are currently attempting to reach in.
Son of a gun. Well, I'm gonna shoot at them as well.
Okay, that will be your next round.
Okay. First things first, just a bit of flavour. Is there a kettle nearby? Or is there hot water?
Of course.
Good. I'm going to have some hot water in a pot, and I'm going to put my tea bag in it.
Okay.
Oh, tea bag.
A special tea bag.
No.
Okay.
Hyimer, I hardly liked thee.
Just mutter to myself, Captain better not fuck this up. He has one job.
Oh god. Curse you bastard.
Just
Forgot
like
about that.
Yeah, you put the tea bag in the kettle. I'd say that's with your other attack action. You put it in, and you begin to brew a cup of tea as you can hear the sound of the ship as it is catching fire at the front end. The ship being broken into from various vines as you are getting fairly close to the forest below.
good.
So, from your current positions above deck, you can see that the ship has gotten much closer now. It is maybe about 100 feet from the forest at this point, and next round will be crashing into it. So, you
Yes, we're evacuating.
all evacuate off. The order is given. The admiral moves over to the next ship and gives the order for the ships to tilt round and begin to unload fire into the vines to weaken them up, to allow for an escape. The mosquitoes at this point are forming shields around the outside of the other ships, almost spiraling around them. Companies 2 and 3, you can see, have bombarded the majority of the vines that came from them as they're moving over. The 4th company, at this point, there are no ships remaining that aren't being... remaining of them is being torn apart. The Arboreans have made some ground. The landing fleet has taken some significant damage, but the Giff are backing them up at this point, as the 2nd and 3rd company are seeing the 1st company form this firewall they're going to perform. So,
Okay.
final round.
Okay, I'm making sure that everybody else is getting off the ship before me.
Okay.
Just let me know once everybody's gotten on to the lifeboats.
Everybody
before me.
moves over to the other ship. Astra, you rush over with the remainder of your patients, moving them along. You get onto the other
For
ship.
Dimitri before anyone.
Dimitri makes his way over to the other ship along with the rest of the crew. You move over to the other ships, and the Admiral moves over, and from the other side he puts out his hand. Come on, Captain.
Something I've got to do first, and I draw one card of many.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Oh
But
no.
if it's instant
Oh, no.
detonation, I will kick your ass from the underworld.
I'm going to first.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay.
I wish.
Oh
Please don't be Don John. Please don't be Don John. I want anything but Don John, if I'm honest. Instant death would be preferable.
Or you might get a knight. Just appears.
Oh, that poor 4th level fighter. Oh,
Okay.
I have arrived. Oh, no.
Oh, sweet shit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
D100? D100?
Yes.
Up here.
Up here.
Okay.
These are in intervals
God.
of 4. So.
You can't just pull out a deck of cards, could you?
No. Donny.
Can't cast Resilient Sphere on myself before he does this, can I?
This would be
Okay.
anything as a reaction. 15. Okay. What is the 3rd one? Okay.
Oh no.
Can't remember what the 3rd one is.
You pull out the card. You pull out the card, and you look at it. It's a moon. You may make one wish. Here it is.
Oh my god.
Okay, guys, I can't be trusted with this. Help.
It's your wish.
As you pull the card out, the moon surface of it begins to sparkle. You hold it there, and you hear in your mind, "What is your wish?"
I wish you'd all get the fuck out of here.
We should just
Oh,
get
no
rid of
giving
mines,
him
maybe.
anything. This is his choice.
Mm-hmm.
This is split-second decision, mate.
Oh,
Yes.
god damn it. I want us all to live. I want us to win.
Is that your wish?
Yes.
Okay. You want us all to win. You want us all to live. At that moment, as you make that wish, holding the card there in your fingers,
This is the
You
most
think
bullshit thing I've ever
I
thought.
wish
And I've
for
done the
winning.
cube, okay.
I wish that we live this. You watch
Definitely
as the
can do
Admiral
that, it's
reaches over to you and pulls you onto the other ship. Hulem, at this moment, as you begin to unload the fire from your peppercorn into the shambling mounds, you watch as this spectral form begins to wrap around you. As
What the fuck is this?
as the rest of the ships begin to pull up, the Promethean core hitting the forest, it detonates, creating a mass forest fire and destroying a large portion of the vines. From within the flames, Hulem, you stand there unsinged and unharmed, the smell of Promethean and gunpowder filling the air as you look out across the charred remains of the forest, watching, unharmed by any of it. Put the kettle of tea next to you, prepared and brewed. The rest of the crew moving over to the other ships as the vines begin to recede, burned and peeling back from the recent attacks. The first company flies over to reinforce the landing army. The second and third swooping down with cheers and whoops from the other crews as they proceed to go lower and lower. You watch as more cannon fire is unleashed upon the reinforcements, the Arborians demolished, the Druids being forced back. As Hulem, as you look back and you look around the forest fire, you watch as a single form, a humanoid individual wrapped in this kind of dark green and grey cloak, looks out and sees you. You did this. He turns and he scatters and running through the smoke. As you look back, you can see the reinforcements now from above as the Giff begin to slowly drift towards the front line, breaking through the beachhead defenses and now reconvening. With a large portion of the first company lost, the fourth gone and the second and third badly injured but still capable, a successful beach landing is made. Very few of the landing army is damaged, and a significant threat and foe has been destroyed with a clutch moment and the drawing of a playing card.
The most bullshit thing I've ever done. And I remember the time I remember the Cube of Chaos.
Yeah.
I remember the Book of Many Spells. Whatever it's called.
God. I just imagine Hume sitting in the middle of this charred forest, just a tea, or a pot of tea, a little table, and a chair. And he's just sitting there looking at this chaos. I'm like,
Have you got a saucer underneath your teacup as well?
of course I have.
Pick me out.
Guys, it was all that special teacup. Or the special tea bag. He
Okay,
did
okay.
it.
Just, and I was just like, I won't fucking, no one will ever fucking believe this.
Just sitting there satisfied of what I've achieved. It'd be like, yeah, and this is a really good cup of tea. Yeah, that is exactly how it is.
Sat there, this is fine, fire surrounding him.
Well, he's actually happy though.
Yeah, exactly. Got my
It's
tea.
not a,
got
oh
my
my god, this
saucer.
is fine.
This
Oh,
is
God.
fine.
As the
Just-
ship lands, the Admiral nods to you. Well done, Captain. We'll join the front forces now and make our way through the ships as the ships are prepared. I want you to lead the landing army. Travel with them. Do what needs to be
Oh.
done. As he gives the nod of approval, the enemies fleeing, the beachhead taken, Algair and his forces prepare to move on further into the Alliance lands. That is where we will end the Soaring Skies Leviathans. With a successful landing and the destruction of very little of the fleet. Successfully destroying a very, very dangerous threat that would otherwise have decimated their fleet. They prepare to push forward and move on. With the captain's guidance, Hulem not being actually dead, with Astra
Did the crew
preparing
know
to
this?
tend to the wounded,
Do we
and
do we
Sim
actually find him?
with his drinking buddy as they both toast.
Do we actually find you?
You do. As you see as after the battle clears, you see a single Giff sat in the forest, just there, with a cup of tea.
Glorious tea drinking bastard.
Just look at the bosun. Arm wrestle?
The bosun
I will
shrugs like
beat you.
old times. The Giff and the crew begin to spread rumours that the tea bag he used made him invincible. And the men begin to speak of the greatness and the decisions that was made during this fight. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed as much as we did. And we will see you whenever we do our next one shot. But for now,
Fucking
bye bye.
Goodbye!
Oh,
Bye.